Oke guys, akhirnya kita sampai juga ke game ke-6 dan gila ya guys, ini BTK bener-bener uji nyali banget. Lagi-lagi Poviusnya dilepas, tidak di-ban juga dan tidak diambil guys. Berarti 6 kalinya si Netsnya memakai Povius. Wow, 2 game sudah dimenangi ya guys ya sama BTK. Apakah ini bisa juga menang lagi dan akhirnya seri? Langsung aja kita tonton. Let's go guys. Dan di sini ternyata akhirnya juga Choi di-ban sama Cloud9, takut kena zoning-zoning. Dan Zia memakai Moskov lagi. Dan Shark memakai Guinevere. Dia suka banget guys. Saya udah sering juga ngelihat si Shark ini pakai Rom Guinevere. Aduh, tapi rubinya diambil ya guys. Dia tadi kayak kemenangannya ada salah satu ruby guys. Jadi ini kontrolnya lumayan nih nanti sekarang. Ya, semoga aja menang guys ya. Biar bisa nonton kita sampai game ke-7. Seru sih kalau bisa.
Cold World is going to have the ruby instead of Shark, so you're not going to be able to punish Basic as much for getting in close with that carry. We're going to see here, ladies and gentlemen, we are at Game 5 of BTK versus Cloud9.
Game 5?
Yeah, definitely going to have to.
Game 6 coy. Game 6. Salah ngomong tuh.
Cloud9 again sitting at match point. They just need one victory to claim that crown.
Okay, so I know why the Guinevere is good, right? Because when you're up against a ruby,
Game 6.
you can't walk up to the ruby,
5.
but you can jump on top of the ruby. So maybe that's the answer, right? I mean, maybe that's the thought here. If you're able to get the knock up on the Cold, the same thing with
ruby kan
Nats,
susah jadinya.
you can't really walk up to the Phobius, but if you're able to just jump on top and get that instant CC, maybe that's the answer here.
Yeah, but you see right now we got 3 Purifies on the side of Cloud9, so it's going to have to be very careful about when we kind of jump in, who we're going for. If we go for Mark Beauty, we're going to need to make sure that that Purify is already expended, because you could pretty much become a lightning rod to your team as they connect those yin-yangs.
Yeah, I was going to say also with Mark Beauty, the diversion plays are going to be something we got to keep a close eye on, right? We see players pick up the Luyi and sometimes are not very aggressive, but we see other players every time that diversion is available.
Wah, Purify 3 itu bagus ya. Ini namanya Cloud9 respect guys, Cloud9. Karena ada Guinevere-nya bagus nih. Jatuhnya crowd control semua ya BTK ya. Ada skill 2 Moskov, Guinevere udah pasti, Aurora, bekuannya, enhance chance-nya Julian, final slash-nya Fried Chicken. Wow, CC. Aduh, nggak bisa ngebayangin sih guys kalau misalnya kan menang ini BTK-nya. Jadi 3 sama. Ini hampir sama kayak kemarin di MPL Filipina ini. Aduh. Wih, first blood. Aduh, mundur dong Cloud9 jadinya gara-gara first blood.
So at this point, Turtle reset, BTK getting buffs, Cloud9 getting buffs. Big meetup, big brawl at the first Turtle. Probably going to be a lot more action than we've seen in the first few minutes of the past 2 games.
Yeah, they're vying for a position here right now, resetting it again. Fried Chicken doing a good job of trying to keep it busy for them. They do have a little bit of a clash down at the bottom. No worse for wear are either of them, but still a little bit of respect paid for both of them. Still a tie game when it comes to the goal, but just 1 kill in favor of BTK.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great pickoff too. Able to find the mid laner, right? Mark Cutie. Need to be a little bit more passive. Needs to use these diversion plays to have the element of surprise, but you can't be surprising us with these early pickoffs. Speaking of surprise,
susah datangnya.
Wih,
dia persen ke situ.
Wih,
kena nama Vandennya. Final slash-nya. GG kan, Shark-nya kan. Fried Chicken. Tapi lumayan sih. Dapetin jago. Final slash-nya nggak kena ya? Ke-cancel atau gimana sih tadi? Waduh, next.
Hampir. And man, it's just you gotta got to be a little bit more quicker to the dial there if you're Mobazane. You cannot be losing those early objectives, especially when they had such an advantage in the numbers at that fight.
Yeah, we know, like, you give a team a little bit of an advantage and they make the most out of it, especially when it comes to the top two in North America. Now, Shark on this Guinevere, how are we feeling about it so far? I think it's great when it has the mobility and also the survivability, the spatial migration, not only to close the distance, but also play as an escape maneuver as well.
Yeah, I think it just works pretty well. We just saw it right against the Phobius got the big knockup just because it's able to so quickly.
Ya, ngedes Mobazane skill 2 kena surprise, guys.
I think we need a new word for how fast Mobazane was shredded right there.
Aduh, kena surprise.
They're going to go in and try and take the farm as well. No, yeah, it looks like they may actually go in for it. A quick pickoff for Cloud9.
Oh my god.
Man, and we were talking about this, how well that's going to start coming into play, especially for a team like Cloud9, who macro just seems to be one of their specialties.
So, I mean, at this point, now the paranoia is going to start to set in, right? For BTK, it's like, what bush is safe? Which way is safe?
Iya, soalnya dipakai itu kan. Siapa Loi? Wah, basicnya nggak bisa dibuat dekat ke turret. Diversion! Zia! Mati lo Zia, hampir aja lo. Untung ada. Ya! Loncat! Gila.
That is unfortunate for him. He was looking for an angle. He didn't have the cooldown to be able to get away fast enough, and by the time he was finally able to find that little dash, he did get bursted down.
Yeah, so I mean, now Basic gets a tower. He can start getting involved in these fights. It's a rough spot.
Honestly,
it's going to be some time now until he can really catch up.
Ruby-nya diituin. Kena angkat. Wih, gila nuts-nya. Ngeri guys, ngeri kan Phobius-nya. Fracture. Aduh, Mobazane itu ada. Surprise kah? Gantian. Ya, aduh. Nggak kena surprise di sana. Wih, by one. Wah, datang forward. Kalau mati itu tadi tuh best playernya. Kalau kena tadi pas itunya. Kena Spear of Distraction ya? Atau gimana sih? Hah? Kok bisa dapet tadi? Nggak ngeliat guys. Lagi gini. Wah, ini udah agak susah sebenarnya. Kalau Nolan nggak dapat apa-apa lagi kan? Nggak bisa mobile itu.
So taking a look back at these items in that gold lane. Last time we saw Zia with a nice lead over Basic, but this time Basic is definitely a bit ahead, right? We're looking at almost a 1,000 gold lead into the hands of Basic. Zia hasn't even finished his second item, and we're getting to the 8-minute mark soon where you need to almost be there. At that point, 8-9 minutes, you should be kind of getting into possibly that third item, like half of your third item build, couple pieces of it.
So, Heaven, Moskopnya udah beli Windfall, Golden Staff apa?
Yeah, and you can see the lift roar picked up as well from best player.
Purify, the Purify. Phobius-nya, diversion. Kelihatan loh. Cari orang kah? Wow, tinggal kena. Wih, fried chicken. Kalah 5. Kan kena Phobius. Knockout-nya. Phobius. Bahaya, tambah ada Ruby. Kenapa ya ini ngelepasinnya?
Well ahead. I mean, and it's match point. If this continues this way, it is looking rough for BTK. Zane's taken 2 deaths, 0 kills. He's a level behind best player, and that's going to continue to stack because best player's just able to farm as Mobazane's stuck in the graveyard waiting to come back. And I'm wondering, Shark He's 0 deaths, but we haven't seen that big violent requiem. They need to get some sort of combo. They have to get some sort of cohesion before in between the members of their team.
Yeah, and it's going to kind of you're looking for the combination with Hoon possibly. I mean, I have not seen kind of like that wombo combo coming out from them.
Combo
especially when the
wombo.
Frigid Glacier comes out. We don't see Shark kind of capitalizing on it, and right now it's the pick.
Tuh, diversion
It is a
kemana?
good pick.
Waduh.
I see
Wih, tahu.
obviously
Hun.
it's just right
Gigi.
now it has not paid its
Mark Cutie doing pretty good on
Emang
this
harus
one.
sering-sering ngebuang spell sih di dalam rebutan kalau lagi apa ya.
And they still have that element of surprise for
Wah,
Cloud9,
keangkat
right?
tuh.
Some sneaky diversion plays may be on the way. They're
Di
going
flickerin.
to
Wah, di all in.
set up on the best
Di all
player.
in. Bagus tuh all innya.
With the alley-oop, able to shut him down.
Ragu-ragu
That'll
tadi
be
tuh kayaknya
best
Shark mau
player
di ulti enggak atau enggak ya.
of the
Ulti
game
aja
right now
langsung
for Cloud9.
disambut, di flickerin
Which is
sama
huge, right? Lord's gonna have 20
Auroranya.
seconds. Taking best player down is going to be important. It's going to give them a nice position. Maybe they can steal some jungle. They can gain control of the map. And maybe even fight for this next Lord, as they're not too far behind in gold, right? It's still very doable if they get the correct positioning.
Yeah, and that was a perfect example of what I was talking about, is kind of chaining together that CC. You saw the spatial migration landed, and then the Violent Requiem, and then you saw the freeze come out from Hoon there. Oh!
Yeah, you're already see the I'm defended from Korod. A little premature, though. I mean, you found Shark, but that's not really the one you want to set up, especially for this Lord play.
combo Cold hilang. Wah, ini mulai bahaya, nggak ada Ruby.
Another kill within the last minute
Itu
for
kombonya
BTK.
jalan nih. Kalau jalan mantep
Stacking of
nih.
skills is
Nggak bisa
definitely
ngapa-ngapain.
happening in his private stead. BTK
Kalau
finding
combo jalan.
some flow in their fights.
Speaking of flow,
Angkat lagi.
migration in
Hmm.
and out as well, knocking up Nats, and now
Mobazane-nya.
Cloud9 trying to punish, trying to
Conceal.
force out BTK from the
Siap-siap
Lord
loncat
pick,
lagi.
but they're not going to let it go for free. Conceal play called out from Shark, but not able to find the setup they're looking for.
Oh, and they're going to go ahead. They're going to reset that Lord right there. But you do have best player. He's still looking to go ahead and put on the damage there. Mark Cutie from the side finds himself some
Reset
damage.
lah,
And
best player.
another
Darah lo
reset.
tinggal sedikit juga.
Both these guys dancing around.
Yeah, they got to watch out for Shark, though. Shark gets a big violent requiem. He was searching for it there. He's been hanging out of that mid bush so much around these neutral objectives, keeping his eyes out. But I feel like Cloud9, they kind of sense that something's there. They know not to overextend. But if Shark lands something, if it's a big two-man violent requiem, it could definitely be the turnaround. Cloud9 at this point just need to play it safe. They need to be careful about the way they move on. They need to keep vision.
And Vision is really on Shark, right? He's able to let them know the state of the
kena.
Now BTK trying to rush in, not going to be able to close the distance. Best player.
Basicnya mati tapi. Wah, kena juga.
Kena
apa? Pasifnya.
A 2-for-2 trade, but Cloud9 secures the Lord.
Man, that speedy light wheel. I mean, Zia was still
Speedy
able to
light
find the
wheel
kill
kena
onto
pasifannya.
basic, but the speedy light wheel already had like 3 or 4 auto attacks out there lying and wait for Zia by the time he found the kill, and even with dashing away, still gets taken down. Now, BTK going to have to answer
Dulu biar nggak dapat perminian lagi.
I mean, with them taking down a few members of Cloud9, it should be a very, maybe not too bad of an answer. I don't think best player wants to push it. He might try here. We'll see. Hoon isn't waiting for him. But I think at this point, we're kind of still at the stalemate.
Yeah, good thing Mobazane did not step into that bush, because he was going to get the fracture of a lifetime.
Yeah, and you see another diversion comes out there. This time, BTK Fly Chicken does catch a little bit of damage, but no worse for wear. And I want to say this is the
Wah,
kind of, Mobazane.
kena solo kill, best player ditungguin sama Mobazane. Wah, dibalikin. 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 Kalau mati. Double kill.
From out of nowhere, 3 kills unanswered, starting with best player, moving into a bush. Mobazane finds the burst damage and
Makan
quickly
di
shuts his
rumput-rumputan
eyes
guys,
on
kalau
that.
kita pro player udah sering main pasti tahu guys. Waduh, langsung balik lagi keadaan. Oh my god. Lumayan sih, cuan. 10.000 goldnya.
got plenty of defense to handle. Has the Athena shield. Looks like might even
Respect, hati-hati dengan diversion aja ini mah.
as his third here, just to really rub some salt in the wound.
Yeah, the best player's been having a little bit of a hard performance, right? He's won.
Jangan terlalu maju dah. Kena diversion belakangin, kena flanking aja.
I mean, he's just rotating around, getting these objectives, and able to find the opportunity to even out the playing field, and not only just even it out. I mean, technically,
Moskow udah
BTK is
full
pretty much
item.
in favor, especially taking down that tier 2 turret in the mid lane.
Yeah, and a firm, not a firm, but a decent gold lane. Like we talked about before, BTK's shown how well that they can perform, even on the back foot, even when they're at a deficit.
Main berlima, 4-4-1.
In their favor means that they're starting to have a big positive upswing in these fights, in this game right now. And man, Cloud9 need to be careful. You cannot continually make some of those mistakes, because we were talking about the momentum that BTK has. They find one kill and they're able to kind of continue on with the snowball.
Yeah, I mean, and that momentum is definitely going to be tough to beat, right? Because as you said, they were behind in gold coming out on top of a fight. Now that they're ahead, does that mean these are definite wins for them? I think for Cloud9, they still, I mean, at this point, do they maybe go for more of the macro play? Maybe kind of get Basic back in that offlane, send Cole World, kind of push BTK. I don't know if they can take BTK on just 5v5 right now. They need to play the map.
And, you know, we were asking a question about the Guinevere and how effective it's been, and it's working really well for Shark, right? He has the spatial migration, he's given the vision every single second on these lure plays, and that's making the difference for BTK to be able to rush in with a lot of information, and then also chaining it up. I mean, there's even times where you'll see Hoon, he sees the spatial migration go in, he knows he connects, he sees the Violent Requiem from Shark, he uses even a flicker to close the distance with the Frigid Glacier to chain that CC.
Right now, a lot of worry from both of these teams, being very careful. Each one of them, I say right now, especially Cloud9, on their side, they're waiting to catch somebody.
Dia nunggu ini juga sih nih.
Diversion
dulu.
Well. Some of those last fights right now. BTK ahead, starting on the Lord.
Yeah, Basic's gonna join this fight. He uses the diversion play as well, so he's not gonna go for the split push.
Ya, kena.
Wait a second, Shark.
Waduh, Nets. Free fight. Wah, Moskow majuin. GG Zia matiin base player. Kena speed reflection. Killing spree. Comeback Israel. Wow, shoot down. Wah, GG Zia-nya, guys. GG. Gila speed of detection. Sap. Dimajuin ke depan. Ngejar base player. Wah, GG Zia.
You were even talking about how far he was behind. He was going to be the 11 minute. It took 16 minutes, but he's there right now.
Only 16. It was only 16 minutes. All right, guys. Zia finally makes it. Lord, push it in, Wheezy.
Yeah, Lord, push it in toward the inhibitor in the mid lane, and BTK now gaining control of this game. Cloud9, a few mistakes.
Waduh. End, guys.
Going in.
Bisa end nih, guys. Teamfight gede. Wah, terlalu nafsu. Hampir kena base player-nya. Wah, di flickerin sama Hun. Dikit lagi, ayo. Ah, my god, minionnya nggak ada. Set deh. Tapi lumayan udah 3. Ketahuan. Bahaya banget itu. Sabar BTK. Wah, seru ya guys ya. Gak rugi kita nonton ini. Dan final yang bagus. Kayaknya kalau menang ini guys BTK, pasti Julian akan di-ban. Yakin. Udah dari tadi kan di-ban aja, ketika dilepas langsung diambil dan akhirnya bawa kemenangan kan buat BTK. Dan Moskow juga bisa jadi respect ban juga nih. Konsil. Wih, loncat. Aduh. Gak kena. Oh, final slash. Wah, dapet. Wah, basic yang kena. Wah, end guys, udah. Kalau basic yang kena mah udah nggak ada damage dong. Dia lo juga jangan mati, oh immortal. End guys, end. Skill 2. Gila, 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 gila. Gila, gila, gila guys. Mengerikan guys. Wow. Gila guys ya. Game ke-6 akhirnya dimenangin oleh BTK dengan comeback, sedikit comeback ya guys ya. Wow. Sudah tertinggal 3-0 oleh Cloud9. Akhirnya disamai menjadi 3 sama guys. Apakah akan terjadi game ke-7? Apakah menjadi happy ending buat BTK? Atau dibenamkan lagi oleh Cloud9 ya guys ya? Dikasih kesempatan 3 kali dan akhirnya kalah, kita nggak ada tahu. Terima kasih banyak guys. Jangan lupa dibantu like, comment, share, dan subscribe. Sampai jumpa. Dadah!